I will echo your agreement that in opposition for several reasons. One, at our June Florida Association of Counties conference, one of the guest speakers was the co-writer of this amendment. And it was clear that the commissioners in the audience pulled out of him that this is simply a no-growth amendment. This isn't a fair and balanced, let's bring the decision, that we pulled out of him that this was a no-growth amendment. And these are commissioners that represent all different political backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, from very urban to very rural. They all had the same response, and it was not a good response. The cost to implement has been covered. When you put a ballot in front of somebody that is 3 or 4 pages long, you're going to get the ballot numbness, the desensitization, that by the time they get to the amendments part, after they've voted on their few races up front, and quite often, especially in a presidential year, people go to vote. They're voting on, if you talk to a lot of people in the last presidential, they were there to vote for one thing, and that was for the presidential race. Everything else on that ballot was, well, okay, what's this? And you know, when you're putting your future on that ballot, you want a very educated decision, and you see how much is done in books for each amendment that goes through here. It requires a lot of research. Put 30 or 40 on those, and chances are you're just going to get into the proverbial, it's all yes or all no. So that would have an impact. You would probably create a county of entitlements. You're going to have those that, if those already have the comp plan change, they need to move forward, versus the neighbor who doesn't have it. And guess what you've just done to the value of that property? This person can market themselves. I got what you want. I can market this. This person is at the whim of not only going through the local, regional, and state approval process, plus elected official approval, but they have to wait possibly for 2 years to maybe get the folks from all around the county to vote on it. So you will create an imbalance of entitlements. You will hurt the mom and pop. You will empower special interests, which are quite often what folks like to use as a common, because only the special interests are going to be able to afford to market their properties and run a campaign to educate folks that they should vote for their comp plan change. Then look into what you will do impair government's ability, quite often, to implement capital and transportation planning improvements for a county or a region require land use changes. If now you don't allow us to make that through the process that has been already discussed and throw it on the ballot, if the people say no, they don't understand possibly that they've just prevented government from making an improvement that is either on a capital or a transportation planning, so there is a negative impact there. And then from an economic competitiveness, if I'm Georgia, Louisiana, or any of the states in the Southeast, I'm saying you go Florida, because they will become competitive in that we can get your business up and running, or if you want to expand your business, come to us. We'll be more than happy to get you up and running, because it's very hard to say, not only to tell a business that wants to either grow or come here, you have to go through a several month-long process of local, regional planning and state approval process. Then you have to go to the ballot, and if you don't do special elections, that's once every 2 years. So in the timeline for this is, if you have a comp plan amendment in the pipeline right now, so basically if you don't have a comp plan amendment in our November cycle, which is right now, you are probably too late in the game to get it before the process, because the way the amendment is written, the day it is voted on, if it passes on Tuesday, the 4th of November 2010, if the board on November 5th was to vote on a piece of property that you've invested thousands of dollars to go through, you now have to go to the ballot. That is the way that amendment is written. So how is that fair to somebody who's gone through that? So if you don't have something that's before this board in this cycle starting now, chances are it's not going to be able to go through the several months of, because you only do this twice a year, the November and May cycles. And the May cycle, you'll never get through. So there is a distinct flavor that, you know, this would have a negative impact. I think St. Pete voted down or changed theirs because they saw the impact that it caused their beat. So I just tell you to research this, ask experts. I'm sure there'll be a lot of this. You'll hear a lot about it as all the campaigns, from the governor's race to the Senate race to other state officials. So there'll be plenty of material to get educated. I just encourage you to be an educated voter when you decide on what's best for your county and the state.